oder generell irgendjemanden und ich bin in der Nähe. Ich prüge die Scheiße so aus ihm raus, dass er nie wieder aufsteht. Und ich schwöre euch, ihr habt keine Chance. Traut euch, kommt zu mir!
Drachenlord is someone I first heard about from Count Dankula and Danknet. I've mentioned Danknet a lot in these videos, haven't I? Anyway, Dragonlord, or Drachenlord as you would say in German, is a guy that gets trolled a lot on the internet, and some people consider him the Christian of Germany. Which, that's not a title you really want to have. I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to make a video on this guy because there's just one problem with trying to cover him. Ich sprechen kein Deutsch. So I have no idea what the fuck he is saying in most videos unless someone has taken the time to subtitle him in English. I mean, I can kind of pick out a couple words here and there that sound like English words because, you know, English is a Germanic language, so there's some similarities, but that's about it. But recently, his story has taken a very interesting turn, and I figured if I was ever going to cover this guy, now would probably be a good time to do it. So let's get into it. Just to give you some background, Dragonlord's father didn't want him to have access to the internet, which, given what happened after that, in the fact that I'm even talking about this dude, that might not be that unreasonable. But at some point, his mother and his sister, along with Dragonlord, all lived in this really big-ass house, which became known as the Dragon Bunker, amongst like the trolls and the internet in general. Somehow, and I'm not entirely sure how this happened, Dragonlord drove the rest of the family away from the house, and it was just him living there. And over time, he turned the house into a garbage dump because he apparently never threw anything away, and it got so bad that nearly all of the rooms, with the exception of like one or two, couldn't even be lived in. This post here also mentioned that he owns a horse and did things with it that you should not be doing with a horse. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I have no idea if that part is true, and I really don't want to know, but I hope it's not true. You're probably wondering, how did this guy sustain himself when he just stays at home and has no job? Welfare. Yeah, the guy lived off of welfare and made YouTube videos on things he likes, mostly metal music, which, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Metal music's cool. But he would also talk about things that you probably shouldn't talk about on the internet unless you want people messing with you. I'm pulling this from Count Dankula's video because it has subtitles on it that I'm gonna assume are accurate. If anyone who speaks German's watching this, let me know if there's anything wrong in these subtitles.
Edgy hat gefragt, Hashtag Lustlord1510. Was für Sexspielzeuge oder Masturbationshilfen besitzt du? Das wurde ich wurde allerdings von der Person auch andere Sachen gefragt, deswegen habe ich die Frage rausgenommen. Ich wurde auch gefragt, wie groß mein Penis ist. Zwischen 16 und 17 cm. Und ja, das war wirklich kein Witz und ich bin damit voll auf zufrieden. Aber hier zum Sexspielzeug jetzt dazu gesagt und deswegen habe ich jetzt meine Penisgröße gesagt. Ich habe eine sogenannte Penispumpe. Das ist unter anderem auch dafür, das kann dafür sorgen, dass der Penis auch größer wird. Ob das wirklich funktioniert oder nicht, ich habe keine Ahnung, ich habe das nie groß probiert. Ich habe eine da, einfach weil ich wissen wollte, wie sich das anfühlt und wie das ist. Aber ich selbst habe jetzt da nicht irgendwie probiert, ob ich das wirklich schaffe, größer zu werden. Und das möchte ich eigentlich auch gar nicht, weil ich bin mit meiner Größe vollkommen zufrieden. Gut, ich hab diese sogenannten Masturbationshilfen, das ist im Prinzip die Nachahmung einer Frau, ist aber natürlich völlig für den Arsch, also das taugt überhaupt nichts und das bringt eigentlich überhaupt nichts. Ich persönlich habe davon, also mir persönlich zumindest bringt das überhaupt nichts, vielleicht bin ich auch einfach nicht groß. So, und ein letztes Spielzeug, das ich momentan noch besitze, ist ein sogenanntes Prostata-Massagegerät.
People really be oversharing on the internet, especially with their faces attached to it. Of course, he ended up attracting trolls that were looking to poke fun at him, so let's just get into the early trolling. Do you like sci-fi? Do you like superhero teams? Well, you might want to check out my book, Renegades Volume 1 Rise, now available on Amazon, both physical and digital. Set in the far future, humanity accidentally crossed over into another dimension while trying to escape a dying Earth. They arrived at a mirror Earth called Terra, inhabited by sentient humanoid animals called Terrans. Humans and Terrans coexisted for a little while, but they eventually went to war. After 10 years of brutal warfare, they eventually found peace. Our story is set 50 years later. A madman named Ivan and his terror cell called Scythe are searching for a dangerous weapon that will allow them to take over the world. The only people who can stop them are the Renegades, a ragtag group of misfits including a teenage girl trained to be a soldier since she was a child, a teenage delinquent with a hoverboard, two super geniuses, a former heavyweight pro boxer with cybernetic augments, and a mysterious blue creature with no memories and the ability to manipulate water and ice. In order to stop Ivan, the Renegades will have to take on giant mechs, evil mega corporations, terrorists, cyborg ninjas, and more in their exciting debut. You can pick up the digital version for 99 cents or the print version for 17 bucks. You can also read the book for free as serials on my Wattpad and Minds accounts. They are updated every other week with a new section.
In Zukunft möchte ich will schauen, dass es hinhaut. Ich möchte, dass alle, wirklich alle versuchen, die gegen Haters sind, auf diesem Drache gegen Haters.
There was something that happened that a lot of trolls, when I gather, thought was pretty shitty and was going a little too far. So what happened was a female troll, a trollette if you will, tricked Dragonlord into falling in love with her, and then he proposed her on stream. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to roll the clip for this.
Ich sehe das momentan halt als extrem großen Liebesbeweis von meiner Süßen, von meiner Erdbeere. Also im Prinzip will ich dich hier live fragen, ob du mich heiraten willst. Nicht unbedingt der romantischste Antrag, aber ja.
Oh Mann. Ist das dein Ernst?
Ja, schon.
Und ich sollte jetzt eine Antwort drauf geben?
Prinzipiell hast du es ja schon getan. Es ist nur die Frage, ob du dazu stehst.
Okay. Also Rainer, du bist echt ein ganz besonderer Mensch. Und mit besonders meine ich, du bist der fetteste, dümmste Idiot, den ich je in meinem ganzen Leben gesehen habe.
I'd be lying if I said part of me didn't find this a little bit funny, but another part of me does feel bad because, yeah, that's a little too far, man. I mean, yeah, he's an idiot for, you know, falling in love with some random person on the internet, but damn. As messed up as, you know, catfishing is, the shit that came after this makes this look fucking tame by comparison. And this incident is what led to the main thing Dragonlord is known for, and probably one of the wildest things I've seen involving an internet locale in a while. You see, someone found his sister's phone number and left a very threatening message on the phone, and I think we can all agree this is a line you just really don't cross. Calling people's family members and threatening them is too fucking far, in my opinion. And obviously, and understandably, this pissed off Dragonlord, that he handled it in probably the worst fucking way possible. First of all, letting the trolls know that they got to you is not good, because they're like sharks when they smell when there's blood in the water. Like, they're just gonna swarm and just start attacking you even more. So that's not a good idea. But that's like the light part. That's like the minor mistake. The massive mistake is what he did on top of that. Under no fucking circumstance should you ever do what Dragonlord did.
Wer auch immer das war, traut euch, kommt zu mir als Schauerberg 8 in 91448 Emskirchen. Traut euch, kommt zu mir und legt euch mit mir an. Ich prügel die Scheiße aus euch raus. Wenn jemand meint, er kann meine Familie beleidigen oder irgendwie meint, jemanden fertig zu machen, ja, der nichts damit zu tun hat mit dieser Scheiße, ja, dann soll er herkommen. Ich schmeiß ihm so die Prügel raus, dass der nie wieder aufsteht. Ich hab keine Angst von euch kleinen Pissern.
He gave out his address on the fucking internet and challenged his trolls to come fight him at his house. Sorry, I'm laughing. Would you be shocked? Sorry, give me a minute. Fuck. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but this is so... What the fuck, man? What the actual fuck? You had to know this was a bad idea, right? Okay, I'm good. But would you be shocked if I told you this did not end well? Strap yourselves in, it's about to go down. Because Drachenlord doxed himself, or just gave out his address. I don't even know if that's considered doxing when you do it yourself. This led to the insanity that is Drachenlord, basically. The trolls basically made it a damn near sacred right to visit this guy's house just to fuck with him. And I'm not even being hyperbolic either, because they refer to it as the pilgrimage. Or the dragon game, that was the other one I think they called it. But of course, having trolls show up at your house just to fuck with you pissed off Drachenlord even more, and he would flip the fuck out and just fly off the goddamn handle when people showed up to mess with him.
Rainer, Ruhe! Ruhe, Rainer, du... Ruhe! Rainer! Rainer, Ruhe!
Wochenende, weißt du?
Hau ab! Haut ab, Mauer, ne? Junge, verpiss dich! Hau ab! Du hast Scream-Tasten gerade gehabt! Du hast doch keine Ahnung, was ein Stream und ein Scream ist, du Idiot! Jetzt verpiss dich endlich!
Du hast mir nichts getan! Du hast mir nichts getan! Du wirfst mit mir auf Bomben, Alter! Du sprühst mit Pfefferspray! Jetzt habe ich's auf Video, dankeschön!
Tanz mal und hau ab! Bevor ich rauskomme, dir will ich die Fresse einschlagen!
Dann komm her, ich hab
Komm her! Komm her! Ich rauskomme, renn dir mir, ihr Feiglinge, Alter! Sag mal, hast du noch eine Tasse im Schrank, Alter? Soll ich meine Scheiben mal schlagen, ja? Weil die Strado herrscht bis raus in die Luft! Ey, was scheißegal!
Not to be that guy, but you did dare them to come to your house, and then they showed up. Like, what did you expect? Now, I have no idea what is being said in these clips. I can kind of guess what some of these words mean, because some of the words sound like English words, but yeah, pissed off, absolute unit shouting at his haters online at the gates of his giant-ass house. That's what's going on here. You can't make this shit up. Sorry. This got so bad, the cops refused to come to his house anymore because he had to keep calling them, because of course the trolls kept showing up because he would keep freaking out and giving them exactly what they wanted, which was a reaction. Even the cops eventually were just like, nah man, that's on you. You brought this on yourself. That's your problem, bro. It got worse. People did other things that I think most people can unanimously agree is really fucking wrong. They got him swatted several times, or at least the German equivalent of being swatted. I don't know. Does Germany have SWAT police? They probably have like a different name, I assume, but basically the German equivalent of swatting. One of these incidents was so bad, a troll got arrested, and when the cops raided this troll's house, they found a CD that contained things that are guaranteed to land you in fucking prison for having, and also added to a list. I'm sure you can figure out what I mean. But this shit just continued to escalate to the point that Drachenlord started patrolling his village with a big stick looking for trolls. This sounds like an actual German fairy tale about a folk hero or something, doesn't it? But the trolls also escalated their tactics, their trolling, and they started firing fireworks at his house, throwing bottles, even chucking eggs at him when he came out of his lair. There was a point during one of his live streams when someone set off a big-ass firework that was so loud it scared Drachenlord to the point where he apparently shat his pants on stream.
Ich muss mal schnell aufs Klo.
Look, I ain't even gonna lie on this shit. That was really fucking loud, and I imagine it was way louder, you know, being there if it was going off like right outside. I would have probably ducked, like dropped to the floor, like gone completely prone, because I would have thought somebody was firing a gun or a cannon or some shit. I don't fucking know. I wouldn't be calm either, to be fair. I don't think I would have shat my pants, but nah, that would have freaked me the fuck out. Understandably, Drachenlord snapped after this and escalated to throwing rocks, pepper spraying people, and more. He reached a breaking point. Eventually, he was allegedly getting hundreds of visitors to his house every week. And this went on for fucking years. He became paranoid. At some point, he ended up attacking someone's car that was near his house and just driving around the village or whatever because he mistook them for trolls. Luckily, they recorded part of this.
Was geht, hä?
Du gehst auf unser Auto los.
Ey, ohne Scheiß, wenn ich euch zusammenhauen würde, könnte ich sogar damit durchkommen.
Hier muss niemand
Weil ihr hier
jemanden
ständig Stress
zusammenschlagen.
macht, Alter. 5 verschissene Jahre.
aufs Auto geschlagen.
5 verschissene Jahre, ihr Hurensöhne.
Wir sind hier durchgefahren.
Ihr habt nichts an euch
hast du nicht
davon.
aufs Auto zu
Da
schlagen.
unten ist das Schild durchfahren.
They called the cops on this man, and there was a rumor that he started fighting the police and assaulted a female officer, but I don't think there's really been any proof on that one, so take that with a grain of salt. But this is the main thing Dragonlord is known for. This level of trolling. But this is not the only way people fuck with him. People would also fuck with his live streams, including hacking his live stream at one point. Someone changed the feed, his stream from his webcam to a video of him masturbating. He had no idea what had happened. He was singing some song when this happened and he just kept singing because he didn't know. You're probably wondering, where did they get a video of him jerking off? Well, Dragonlord has a Pornhub account, or had a Pornhub account. We'll get into why it's no longer a thing later. I don't mean a Pornhub account that somebody else made and then hacked his computer and got videos of him doing this shit and then uploading it there as like to fuck with them. No, it was his. He owned it and he uploaded the videos himself, including one of him fucking a blow-up doll. Just why the fuck? Why the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This shit is, what the fuck is this shit, man? Why the fuck? There's just some things where I'm just gonna ask, why the fuck would you upload this? Like, who, was there a demand for this shit? Did someone convince him that the world needed to see this? I feel like I'm turning to Dr. Phil. Like, what drove you to this decision? Like, what was going through your head when you're already a magnet for trolling? What made you think uploading your own lewd content was a good idea? Spike, help me out here, man.
Hey, listen. You didn't need to post that.
Remember what I said about oversharing a few minutes ago? Yeah, Dragonlord has that problem in spades. Fucking with him IRL while he was also streaming was pretty common. People have smashed his windows while he's streaming. And to be fair, not all of the broken windows that were on his property could be blamed on the trolls because Dragonlord does it himself when he snaps. The other form of trolling they would do is they turned him into the German Sam Hyde. Whenever there was a mass shooting or some kind of incident involving, an active shooter, they would contact news agencies and say Dragonlord was a shooter, and there have been cases where the news agencies took that information and ran with it. This man's trolls have no fucking chill. I don't know what else to say to that. Y'all have no fucking chill. Holy shit. But believe it or not, we haven't even gotten to the biggest event in the Drachenlord saga, the SCHANZENFEST.
Kannst du hierher kommen und auf die Eier gehen, Alter? Oder lieber noch lachen? Dummheit,
Rainer, Ruhe!
Scheiße!
Depp, Alter.
Jeder, der normal ist, kommt normal Verweg!
What is a SCHANZENFEST? To get the answer, I had to translate a Wikipedia page using Google Translate. This is what I got from them. The SCHANZENFEST is an annual left alternative street festival in, bear with me, Schanzenviertel? I'll probably butcher that. In Hamburg since 1988. The festival attracts thousands of visitors every year. In recent years, the festival has ended with clashes with the police and riots. You're probably wondering, what does this have to do with Dragonlord? Well, the trolls decided in August of 2018 to have the fest in Dragonlord's village, right outside of his house. They had trailers, branding to promote this shit, promotional videos, all that stuff. This was a fucking event amongst the trolls in Germany. Literal hundreds of people showed up and marched to Dragonlord's house. It was so bad, a state of emergency was declared, and emergency services were dispatched to try and intercept them. This included police in full riot gear. Bruh, is this for real? I know, it sounds like something that somebody made up, but no, this actually fucking happened. Dog, what the fuck? Jeff, I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know, dude. But the police, they tried to stop them from getting to Dragonlord's house. This pissed off the crowd because, of course, they wanted to go to Dragonlord's house to fuck with them. As they wanted, as you know, is the whole plan. This led to fires, vandalism, property damage, and multiple arrests, while the other people who weren't as crazy just got shit-faced and partied, and then left. Dragonlord got interviewed about this after the fact, because he was hiding in his house during the event, which I completely understand, because I wouldn't want to go out there either. They tried this again 2 months later, but the cops blocked all the roads into the village, so nothing really came of it.
Really, look, niggas be wildin'.
But the Dragonlord shit show got so bad that the government got involved. Germany has this really bizarre law, and to be honest, it's absolutely bullshit, where if you continuously get 500 plus viewers on a stream, on your streams, you are legally considered a broadcaster and you need to get a license. Guess who didn't have a broadcasting license?
Und, ja, ich will mit euch mal drüber reden, was jetzt die Sache ist.
Oi, mate, you got a license for that stream. They sent him a cease and desist and said he was banned from streaming on YouTube until he applied for that license. Dragonlord didn't file his paperwork correctly, so it was rejected, and in February of 2019, he was permanently banned from streaming on YouTube, and he wasn't happy about it. He started streaming on another platform called YouNow and made sure his view counts were under 500. What if I told you this story doesn't end here? Eventually, because he was still getting trolled, the village got sick of this shit and got the police involved to try and get him out of the village to stop the trolls from showing up and raising hell and just making things a nightmare for them. Dragonlord continued to stream because he never got the license, the government started hitting him with fines which he refused to pay, so they kept piling up and he ended up owing thousands of euros worth of fines. He also started getting into legal trouble for numerous assaults on trolls that showed up to his house. He did change tactics to using a gardening hose on people, which I won't lie is pretty funny. But the walls were starting to close in on him. While this was going on, some other crazy shit was happening. At some point, Dragonlord got catfished again, and when he tried to meet up with the girl, two guys were there, they ambushed him and dumped Coca-Cola on him. Dragonlord's Pornhub account also got hacked, and then some merciful soul deleted all of the contents. Make of that as you will. That can either be a blessing or a curse, depending on who you are and your morbid taste, I guess. He also decided to take up music and made a rap song called, I don't know if it's pronounced Skier Skier or Skir Skir, but the chorus is literally him saying skirt skirt in my Audi with like a German accent and auto-tune, and it's not good. I'm not gonna play it because I probably get claimed if I play it, but the song apparently did well, but not because it was good. It did well because it was basically like The Room, where it's so bad that it's good. And people were sharing it around him like, yo, this is so fucking bad. Dragonlord also was on probation. Sorry, I said probation. The fuck? I'm Hank Hill and I'm telling you probation. That boy ain't right. We can cut this in post, right? Yeah. We'll cut it in post, Edgy. Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, almost did it again. Probation for pepper spraying a troll, and he was given community service as a punishment. He ended up not being able to do the community service because the places where you could do community service refused him because they were afraid of his trolls. That's how bad this shit is. Or was at this point, I should say. Speaking of legal troubles, a troll tried to barge into his house where the door was locked, and then Dragonlord locked the gate, so he was sealed in on the property. This just led to both of them pressing charges on each other. But Dragonlord, despite all of his legal troubles, actually caught a bit of a break because the broadcasting license law got revised in such a way that Dragonlord was safe and no longer violating the law. But I'm not sure if that means that his previous fines are no longer valid, if he still has to pay them or not. I'm gonna assume he still has to pay them because it's the government and governments fucking suck. The trolls also decided to hire a prostitute for Dragonlord because I guess they felt bad for him. But this prostitute was an alleged drug addict and transsexual, so yeah, I'm not sure how much of a gift that is. But sometime after that, Dragonlord ended up in court after punching two dudes in the face who showed up at his house and mocked his dead father. He did try to plead self-defense, but that didn't work out too well for him. The judge, instead of sending him to prison for getting in trouble again while on probation, decided to give him a harsher probation a double probation effectively. It applied new rules to Drachenlord. The rules were he would receive IT training to get a job provided and paid for by the court, and he could live on welfare while getting the training. But the flip side was he would have to sell the house and leave the village, and also delete his YouTube channel. This seems like a fair deal, honestly. I mean, I'd take that over jail. I don't know about you. But Drachenlord is built different. He didn't agree with that and refused to take the deal. It gets worse. He ended up in more legal trouble. You see, people started treating his house like a garbage dump. I mean, he was doing that himself already, but they started tossing trash over the gate, including tires at one point. And Drachenlord called the cops and wanted them to remove the tires. The cops refused to do that, and he insulted them. He then took the security cam footage of this and uploaded it to YouTube while insulting the police further. Apparently, insulting people in Germany is actually a crime, so that's another fucking charge. What the fuck, Germany? What the hell? You alright over there, man. You're right, bro. But at this point, the village was beyond sick of his shit. They made an official decree, which is basically like an enforceable law for like a short amount of time. And this decree made it that so provoking people and disturbing the peace was illegal, like you couldn't do it or you get fined or charged or whatever. And this was supposed to last from June to September of 2021, but it actually got extended to December of 2021. Would you be shocked to find out this had no effect on people coming to Drachenlord's house and fucking with him? And yes, he ended up getting even more assault charges. He's collecting assault charges and just charges in general, like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards at this point. I think one of these charges was when he threw a brick at someone. At this point, he knew he was in trouble, so he decided to sell the house before he had to appear in court to, I guess, try and soften a blow and hope that the judge would go easy on him. And then he told them in court that he intended to go on a road trip so the trolls couldn't find him, but he would still be streaming and still have his channel and all that shit. The judge was not happy with this plan and told Drachenlord to please end his internet career, please stop uploading, please stop posting online. And if he did that after this trial, he would walk, so no jail time if he just deleted all of his social media, basically. Again, seems pretty fair, and yeah, most of his problems would go away if he left the village and stopped uploading. Drachenlord refused again. He wanted to keep making content, but in a way where it would be harder for the trolls to target him because he'd be on the move. I should also mention the trolls were causing havoc at the court itself. The trial was supposed to last for 2 days, but the judge was so fucking done with all the antics, he sentenced him to 2 years in prison on the first day. Did you really think it stopped there? His defense lawyer submitted an appeal to try and get that sentence reduced. On the flip side, the prosecution submitted an appeal because they wanted the sentence to be harsher than 2 years. Drachenlord returned to his lair because he was permitted to stay there until the government found him somewhere to live. He had the money from the sale though, so he bought himself a truck. Drachenlord was supposed to leave the bunker in February of this year, which is 2022 at the time I'm recording this. But that didn't happen because Drachenlord said the community hadn't found a place to live yet, and he had already spent all the money he got from the sale of the house. Surprise, surprise, the guy is not financially responsible. The mayor of his district told him that was not the fucking deal and he was supposed to find his own place to live. Eventually, the cops had to escort him out on February 28th of 2022, and he left his home forever. He uploaded a video saying he would begin an epic live stream road trip and that the trolls would never find him. The trolls found him in less than a few hours and made a goddamn interactive map showing all the sightings of him and where he was. Because let's face it, he's not exactly blending in, is he? But in March of this year, workers were starting to clear out the filth, and some trolls broke in and began taking stuff, including some drawings that was done by his sister when she was little and stuff like that. You're probably wondering who bought this house. It was the district. The people wanted this absolute unit gone so badly, the government bought the damn house because they knew no one would want to buy it because of the state it was in. The government bought his house just to get rid of him, and the entire community was behind it. That just puts into perspective just how sick of his shit the people in his village were. But even with him no longer being there and the house no longer being owned by him, there were trolls still breaking in and causing problems. So the local government decided to demolish the house. Drachenlord at this point was living in his car, but his court problems of course followed him and he had to turn up to court for his appeal. This was the appeal about the prison time thing. The trolls showed up to the court and started a street party outside. Y'all motherfuckers are savage, that's all I'm gonna say. But the key witness in the case thought it would be a good idea to get drunk as shit right before entering the courthouse, and he chugged an entire bottle of what appears to be schnapps as a dare. After giving his testimony, he went outside and caused a scene and was later arrested. Yeah, the key witness got fucking arrested after giving his testimony while drunk as shit. You can't make this shit up. I don't know what you want me to say. You can't make this shit up. But later on, the judge gave Drachenlord 1 year probation, no prison time. He got another fucking break. But this probation had some other conditions. He had to pay 3,000 euros to a charity. He had to go to psychotherapy, which, yeah, this dude's temper. He needs it.
Weißt du?
And he would have to be constantly reporting his location to the cops. He also had to contact some charity group that deals with cyberbullying. I don't know too much about that. The prosecution wanted to add a revision to give him a harsher sentence, but they eventually withdrew that. So Drachenlord continued to drive around streaming in his truck while the trolls continued to track him and update this interactive map. However, eventually the government made him do what's called an MPU, which is a second advanced driver's test that is issued if the government suspects that you aren't healthy enough to be driving. This involves drug tests, vision tests, being checked by a psychiatrist, and some other stuff. If you fail this test, your license is revoked. Typically, this is reserved for older people or people with certain conditions or disabilities that could potentially make driving difficult. But your license can also be revoked if, say, you refuse to show up for this MPU. You see where this is going, right? Yeah, he got his license revoked, and because of that, his truck was impounded. So Drachenlord lost his place to sleep and his main method of transportation. He ended up selling the truck to stay in motels, but he got blacklisted by all the motels because, of course, they don't want the trolls coming and finding him there and raising hell. Now, he did eventually buy a small house and is now hiding there, but he still streams, and sadly, we're not done yet. You see, he eventually got raided by the cops and they took all of his electronics. There's some speculation as to why, and it might have to do with a porn blog he had and a porn forum he had, but there's also some allegations of some other just wilder shit that would land you on a list that I'm not too sure about that part, so I'm just gonna chalk it up to just he said, she said for now. One thing that I did learn is violent porn and porn that involves animals is considered illegal over there. It is illegal to make it or share it. And it sounds like someone reported the porn blog because there was a story in there that was considered violent by the authorities. Another thing is that he was running 2 porn sites without an age verification pop-up. You know that one where you had to click yes to confirm that you are 18 or older? You know, that thing that I'm sure absolutely no one has ever clicked when they weren't actually 18 years or older. Because he didn't have this in the eyes of the government, Drachenlord was making porn available to minors, which, yeah, that's a no-no. And this resulted in both of his sites being taken down. The speculation is this is what also led to his electronics being seized. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. This is where we are now. One last thing I have to say is Drachenlord has given out his address to the original house, the Dragon Bunker, multiple times. Like, it wasn't just a one-time thing. And he did it fairly recently during COVID, which of course just led to more mayhem. I guess because he thought that, you know, all the quarantines and shit, that if he challenged the trolls again, no one would show up. Yeah, he did the calculations, he did the math, but he is terrible at it. Because that's not what happened. And what really gets me is the judge gave him so many fucking outs and he just refused to take it. What's probably going to end up happening is his new house will get doxxed because he keeps streaming, and this whole cycle will start up again. And this will most likely end with him going to prison. And what's wild is, and like a lot of locale stuff, he can make all of this shit stop if he just fucking stops streaming. Eventually this would all go away, but he just doesn't stop. I see why they call him the Chris Chan of Germany. He has certainly earned that title. There will probably be a part 2 at some point because I'm pretty sure it's gonna get crazy again. But I'm gonna go chug a bottle of booze right now because this shit is just beyond insane. If you made this whole video, thank you, and if you liked it, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. I'm done. Give me a fucking drink.